Welcome to TechieTalkee. Hello friends. In this video, we are going to learn about the usage of while loop in Python. In the previous video, we learned about the if-else block. So based on a particular condition, the respective if or the else block gets executed once and then the control moves to the next line. Suppose we want to execute a block of code multiple times till a condition gets satisfied. For example, I want to print the even numbers between 0 and 20. So I'll have to give multiple print statements to print the values 0 to 20. So if I execute this code, 0 to 20 gets printed. But 20 is a very small number that I've quoted here for explaining on the number of print statements required. So in the actual business requirement, when we develop the Python code, we will not know the upper limit. Till then the loop has to be executed because this upper limit will be fetched real time when the code is being executed. So that calls for a looping statement. This is the syntax of the while loop. In this case, I'm using a comparison operator. In general, the syntax would be while followed by a condition, colon, then we can give the statements, whatever we would want to execute. We can also give a continue or a break statement. And then this while block will be followed by the else block where we can give the statements for execution. Let me explain this code with a flowchart. So start, which will be the starting of my execution. First, I'm initializing a value of I to be 0. So I'm giving I equal to 0. Then I'm checking for a condition if I is less than or equal to 20. So in this case, we are going to print the value of I till the value is less than or equal to 20. And that is why we are using the while loop here. In the first iteration, the value of I is 0. So 0 is less than or equal to 20. And then it prints the value of I, which is nothing but 0. So 0 got printed here. And then the next statement is I plus equal to 2, which means I is equal to I plus 2. So I'm adding the value of 2 to the existing value of I, which is 0 plus 2. So I'm getting the value of I to be 2. In this flowchart, I'm giving the similar iteration, which is I equal to I plus 2. Again, it will check for the condition if I is less than or equal to 20. This while block keeps executing till the value of I becomes 20. And then the value of I, which is 20, gets printed. Next, again, it's getting incremented by 2. So the value of I now becomes 22. Then it again checks for the condition if I is less than or equal to 20. Now the value of I is 22. So 22 is not less than or equal to 20. So it exits from the while loop and the program terminates. So here we can see that all the even numbers between 0 and 20 gets printed. But this while loop has to be very carefully written to make sure it does not get into a infinite loop. In this code, we are using a variable I, which is initially set to 0. To check if the condition is met, we have to increment the value of I. If the value of I is not incremented, it is always going to be 0. And it will keep satisfying the condition 0 less than or equal to 20. So this code will never stop its execution and it will keep printing 0 until we manually stop this code. This is an infinite loop. Let me show you with an example where I'm just going to remove this piece of code. Since we are not incrementing the value of I, it remains to be the same with the 0. So this condition is always getting satisfied. 0 is always less than or equal to 20. So 0 keeps printing until we manually stop the execution of this particular code. In the while loop, we can also give a break statement to stop the execution of the while loop even if the while condition is true. So in my example, I'm going to give a break statement to handle the infinite loop. So in this code, I'm not incrementing the value of I, but since it has a if block, it gets into the if statement because 0 is equal to 0, and then there we have the break statement, so the execution stops there. Next, let's learn about the continue statement in the while loop. So consider the sample example where I want to print even numbers between 2 and 20, but I don't want 6 to get printed. Now how do we do that? What have I given here? I'm going to execute this while block till I is less than 20. And then I'm giving I plus equal to 2, meaning the value of I gets incremented. If I is equal to 6, then continue, else print I. So what happens is, first time we are just initializing the value of I to be 0. Next, when it gets into this while block, 0 is less than 20. So it gets into the while block I plus equal to 2. So which means the value of I now becomes 2. And next I'm checking if I is equal to 6. No, in this case I is 2. So it will skip this statement, which is the continue, and then it will go and print the I, which is 2. So 2 got printed here. Next, it will again go to the condition and check if 2 is less than 20. Yes. So I will now get incremented by 2. So now the value of I becomes 4. And here I am checking if I is equal to 6. No, it is 4. So 4 will get printed here. Then again it will check for the condition. 4 is less than 20. Yes. So the value of I now gets incremented by 2. So the value of I now becomes 6. So here I am checking if 6 is equal to 6. Yes. So it will get into this continue. So what will happen is, the continuous statement will take the control back to the while condition and it does not execute the remaining steps. So print 6 is not getting executed. So this continue will take the control back to this condition. 6 is less than 20. Yes. So now the value of 6 will get incremented by 2. So the value of I now becomes 8. And this keeps going till we reach I is 20. We can make the same code get into an infinite loop by using the continue statement with minor alterations into the code. Let's say I am printing the value of I here, and this increment is going to be here after the if block. If I execute this code, so 6 keeps printing. Now what is happening here? So first I is 0, so 0 less than 20, yes. So first 0 will get printed. Next, it will check if 0 is equal to 6. No. So the value of I gets incremented by 2. So now the value of I becomes 2. Then it will again go to the condition and check if 2 is less than 20. Yes. So it will print 2. Next, it will check if 2 is equal to 6. No. So the value of I gets incremented by 2. So now the value of I becomes 4. Again, it will go and check for this condition. 4 less than 20. Yes. So it will print the value of 4. And then it is going to check if 4 is equal to 6. No. So the value of I gets incremented by 2. So now the value of I becomes 6. So it will go to the while loop again. So now 6 less than 20. Yes, that's true. So I'm printing the value of 6. And this if block is there where we are going to check if 6 is equal to 6. Yes. So we have it will get into the if statement and it will continue. So what will the continue do? It will again go and check for the condition. So again 6 less than 20. So 6 gets printed. If 6 is equal to 6, again continue. So again it will go there and check for the condition. So the value of I never gets a chance to get incremented by 2, thereby resulting in infinite loop. This while loop also supports the else block that will get executed when the while condition returns false. So how do we write that? So before that, let me remove this if block here. So we can have else print even numbers. As we can see here, after the while loop gets completely executed, then it will go to the else part where it will print the message even numbers. Next, let's look at the nested while loop. It is nothing but the while loop inside another while loop. Say for example, I want to print the multiplication tables from 1 to 10. So I can do this using the nested while loop. I is 1, and then I'm giving the first while statement where I'll say I less than or equal to 10. Then I'm printing the value of I. Then I'll have to increment the value of I by 1. So if I execute this code, it is going to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So we need two numbers to do the multiplication. We need two variables. So for that, let me use another variable j, which will be inside the while loop. I'll initialize the value of j to be 1 here. So why am I giving the value of j inside the while loop? Because we are going to give another while loop within this while loop where I'm going to say while j less than or equal to 10. And I'm going to increment the value of j here. So if I print the values of both I and j, I can see that this result gets printed. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. So how does it work? So first we have I is 1, and then while I less than or equal to 10. So first the value of I is 1, and then we have the value of j as 1. So while j less than or equal to 10. So we have 1, 1. So 1, 1 gets printed here. And we are going to increment only the j here. So the way the nested while loop works is, first the outer loop executes once, and for each execution of the outer loop, the inner loop executes for the required number of times. So first, for the value of I to be 1, the value of j will be executed from 1 till 10. After that, we are incrementing the value of I by 1. So now the value of I becomes 2. So for this execution of this while statement, we are again going to execute the inner while statement 10 times. As we can see here, for the value of I to be 2, the value of j will be executed 10 times. So that is why we are getting 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 till 210. And once after the value of j reaches 10, the execution goes to the outer while statement and the value of I gets incremented. So now the I value becomes 3. We need to print it in the form of multiplication table. Whatever values we want to print, we can separate them using the comma. So I'll give I asterisk j equal to, I need to multiply the values. So I'll give I into j. If I execute this code now, I can see that the multiplication tables being printed from 1 till 10. Hey guys, hope you now understood about the while loop and how we can use it in Python. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any queries, you can reach out to me at techietalkee@gmail.com. Happy learning and have a great day.